Good morning, I'm Amanda Foley, and this is Coach's Corner with men's basketball coach Matthew Driscoll. So first off, I want to ask you, how is Stan Janaski doing?
You know, the one thing about Stan is he's such a tough kid and such a tough competitor, and obviously took a hard fall. When we got to the hospital, the doctors had made the comment that they had not seen an injury like that except in a car accident. So you can tell the impact that he took when he hit the floor against Jacksonville on Friday night. He's doing much better. They kept him overnight for observation. Passed all the tests on Saturday morning, so he was able to be released, and he's been able to come to practice, but he's not been able to participate. We're waiting right now for some pulmonary specialists to look at him and to see exactly how his breathing's progressing and how his lungs progressing. He has a bruise on his lung. So once that kind of gets healed and kind of gets him able to be back on the floor, then to see how he can run and how that affects him there and the area itself, the tenderness, we'll find out where he'd be. They're saying 3 weeks. And it might be a little bit earlier than that, but we're not sure. But we're taking it day by day right now.
Okay. Now, that was in the first half. How did that affect the team in the second half?
Well, you know, it happened about halfway through the first half, and our guys did a really good job of staying tuned up what's going on. When a player's coughing up blood, it's kind of hard sometimes to regroup yourself. But our guys did a great job. There was an unfortunate error, a scoring error that took place at the end of the half, and our best player wasn't able to be on the floor at the time, and we corrected it at halftime. But you know, it was tied up when he came out and ended up being a 6-point deficit at halftime. So it is what it is. And then in the second half, we told the guys, look, here's what's going on. Stan's going to the hospital. They got to do some x-rays. There's nothing we can do about it. And the one thing we've told our guys all year long, and in life, what our guys need to understand is the more you're concerned about things you can control, the better your energy level is. When you waste energy as a human being on things you can't control, for instance, the weather. You know, if you get so, oh, it's raining, it's this, it's snowing. If you waste all your energy on stuff like you can't control the weather. So there's nothing you can do about it. We just have to move on. I thought our guys did a really good job refocusing in the second half without Stan.
So what happened against JU?
Well, you know, the one thing about JU, and I told the reporters after the game, you could replay my quotes from game one, and you'd have the same answers for game two. They shoot it and fetch it as well as anybody I've ever coached against. Sometimes they send 5 guys to the glass that actually go get boards. And, again, they had 24 rebounds against us, and it really ended up being the difference in the game once again. So they asked me, how do you correct that? You know, it really isn't a correctable error, so to speak. It's really will and effort. You know, we have to have better effort and understanding. They're athletic and they're long. And when you have long athletes, you've got to be perfect with your body. And we didn't get inside enough, and when we did, they got around us at times. So we just have to really do a better job against specifically them, keeping them off the offensive glass.
Freshman David June had a very good game. How did you feel about his performance?
You know, really has had 2 back-to-back great days of practice as well. You know, David's one of those kids that really plays at a high level, and he plays hard all the time. And because of that, I think he plays too fast. So throughout the year, we've been trying to hone him and kind of groom him about understanding about when to play at a high level and when to slow down and take pace. And he's really starting to do that. And probably why he had 14 points is because he took pace when he had the ball, but played at a high level offensive rebounding when he didn't have the ball. And I really think he's grown in that area. And defensively, David's always been phenomenal as a freshman. He's probably grasped the concepts better than any freshman that we've had. And he showed it against JU. He showed it against Upstate the game before, and in the last 2 days in practice, he's been great at it as well, too. So David's really made great progress. And also, too, you know, David's dad, he's back from Haiti. His dad was in Haiti for 2 months and actually left the morning of the first earthquake. So, you know, when your father's in a place, you know, away for 2 months and then that happens, it's a tough thing to deal with. So, you know, David's a great human being and a great kid, and he's really responded well.
That's amazing. Okay, so Friday and Sunday you have a game against Lipscomb and Belmont. So what are some things that you're going to do to have a successful trip?
Obviously, Lipscomb handled us pretty good in the second half here at home, and this trip is kind of odd. It's sort of like playing UNF and JU. They're both in the same town. They're about 5 miles away from each other, so you stay at the same hotel, which is kind of cool. So it helps you save on some travel and some wear and tear on your bodies going from school to school. When you play JU and UNF, it's the same thing. These 2 teams are probably, well, they're definitely 2 of the best teams in the league historically. And right now, in the standings, they're 2 of the best teams. Both of them went on the road and just won over the weekend. They swept their opponents in both trips. So Lipscomb's coming in hot, and they're one of the top teams in the league. And Belmont, who we beat, obviously, for the first time in the history of the school when we played them here. Since then, they've been hot as a firecracker. Their only loss has been to Lipscomb. So they've been playing tremendously well. So this is a big road trip for us. We always tell our guys, win the ones at home, steal a few on the road. We've actually won 3 of our last 4 on the road, JU being the only loss. But so we played pretty well on the road, which gives our guys somewhat of a confidence on the road. So hopefully we can take that confidence, make some corrections against Lipscomb on Friday night, and come away with a W.
It's going to be a busy weekend for you guys. All right, thank you, Coach Driscoll. I really appreciate your time when talking with us. This is Coach's Corner with men's basketball coach Matthew Driscoll. Good morning. This is Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Mary Tapmeyer. Mary, we've got a victory on our hands against JU. How was that?
It was amazing. It was our Pack the House night. Had a great crowd. Really played well as a team, and it was fun to finally beat the Dolphins. It really was.
What were some key contributions to that game?
I think just, we were so disappointed in losing in overtime at JU that revenge was probably a little bit of the factor, and then our 2 seniors had never beaten them. I think our Landy Sherazal was huge defensively, did a lot of things offensively as well, but her presence on the defensive end really kind of jump-started us, and we were a lot more aggressive defensively and really took it at them and got some easy run-out baskets. And when we're running and getting scoring in transition, we play with a lot more energy.
Now, you also played USC Upstate, and you lost that game. But what were some strengths and weaknesses of that game?
I think the biggest disappointment was it was just we didn't have a lot of energy for that game. It was, I don't know if we were cold because it was freezing up there and we were caught in a storm, but we just didn't seem as mentally focused and prepared as we needed to be to play at that place. They were more aggressive. They got to the line 35 times. We got there 12. We didn't take care of the basketball very well, and I think it just was a disappointing, looking back, it was definitely one we let slip away that we probably would love to play over again, but don't get that chance.
Okay, so you have a game coming up against Lipscomb on Saturday. Is everyone ready? Everybody getting prepared?
I think they are. We would like to beat Lipscomb. That would be a sweep of the season. And Lipscomb, Kennesaw, and us are all vying for that last spot to get into the conference tournament right now for that A seed. And if we beat them, that gives us a definite leg up on them. And then hopefully the other home games we have and the other conference games we have, we can keep winning and get a higher seed. But we have to take care of business at Lipscomb, and they're playing with, their record is deceiving. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're just losing, very similar to us, by 2 to 4 points every game. So it's really going to be a big game for us.
You've been very close in the scoring for the last couple of games. How is recruiting going for next season?
Recruiting's going really well. We signed 2 players early. Jade Givens from down in Tampa. She's a point guard that's going to come in. And we signed Chandler Murkison from Hialeah High School, big athletic, 3'4". And then we've got 2 other players that we're bringing in on visits, hopefully sometime this month that we can get commitments from. And we've got 2 players right now that are sitting out that are transfers, Taylor Smith and Jaden Kerr. Both players play in the post position and have had a year's experience with our program. So we're really excited about the future.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for your time and for talking to us.
You're welcome.
This has been Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Mary Tapmeyer.